Welcome everyone, my name is Jack, and today we're checking out Simple Rockets. It's essentially a 2D version of Kerbal Space Program. If you don't know what that game is, I'm probably surprised, but it's a game where you build rocket ships, and you're trying to build a ship configuration which is built for the mission you're doing. Like say you're going from the Earth to the Moon, and you got to build the rocket ship and take off and get orbits and all sorts of that, space physics and that kind of stuff. It's a fun take on it. It's definitely not as complex as the real world, but there's a lot of real-life mechanics at play. So Simple Rockets takes that. It's all in 2D. And Kerbal Space Program, which is probably like the bigger brother to this, that's in 3D. And that's pretty complicated. And I've got really old videos on that game, and I'm not very good at it. But Simple Rockets is a game which came out in 2013 on mobile devices. And I played it on my phone. There's another one called Simple Planes as well by the same developer. I enjoyed playing it on my phone. It was essentially 2D space, flying, whatever, on my phone. I thought that was cool. Developers finally released its first game into PC, and it's a Simple Rockets. It's the same game with a bit more polish. It's PC ready and Mac ready, I'm pretty sure, as well. It is for Mac, and it works really well. It's essentially the same game that I loved playing on my phone, but with a little PC tune-up, and it's all ready to go. So I'm going to show it off to you guys. We'll do blast-off practice to show how the game works. I know the basics of it. I can remember most of it, and just before this, I only played a couple of rounds, but after playing Kerbal Space Program 2 years ago or 1 year ago, this game a year ago on my phone, it all came back to me pretty quickly, and I managed to smash a spaceship into the moon accidentally. I was trying to land, but hey, let's play. So there's definitely, I guess, a mobile kind of interface, and there's a couple little tweaks which I think would really help for a PC, PC user friendliness. This is a spaceship I've made earlier, and it's pretty cool that it's actually automatically loaded. I can delete things by dragging the top right. I was going to say, though, to the developer, if you're listening, on the right here we have our parts. It'd be great I could just drag it onto there and it would go away. But hey, I don't want that. I have to drag it in this tiny little window on the right, and would have been nicer just to drag it back into the panel. When you start with this little bully. I can rotate him. That's pretty cool. But we're going to leave him there. He's our command module. We need to build a spaceship. And in this example, we got to get up to, I can't actually remember how high it was, 100 kilometers in altitude. Don't worry about landing, just got to get up there. And so what we can do, is we can create some fuel tanks on there. We can put different combination of engines to satellite stuff. I don't even know what that's for. There's been a lot of little developments of the game, and the launch trailer for this game is amazing. You should definitely check it out. So you can build things onto it. So for example, you can put a rocket on here, and then put a booster on like that, and then get some side detaches and put some more rocket boosters to the side. And you can queue it a lot, but I'm going to just open the previous one I had before, which is my basic rocket. So this is what it looks like. I think it's pretty cool. A couple of stages. The first stage is these two boosters here, which I think, actually, you know what? Let's make this thing bigger. I want to see what happens when I make this thing bigger, because bigger is always better. There's no symmetry feature. Like copy and paste. Can I go shift? There's no keyboard commands for that. No. I was hoping that if I clicked holding control and clicked on that, it would clone it, because that's a very common thing in building things. What is this part called? Like the building interface. And there's no symmetry mode, but hey, we'll get it working. Okay, so we've got the ship now. That looks much beastly. What's the struts? All right. Oh, I can connect things. Wow. Okay, that'd be a bit excessive. Just have like boosters all the way to the sides. Right. So where's those new engines? These ones here. These need to go into here. Like, okay. So the first thing is all these four go. They propel the ship upwards. Then, hold on. Then we do this. We disengage the sides and take off with that one. Then we disengage and then we fire. Just so there's a bit more control at this very end point. But that should be all good. Let's launch it. It runs really quickly. You do not need a good computer for this run. And the cool thing I like about this game, if you want, like Kerbal Space Program, I think is very educational. And a lot of kids love playing it. They love the challenge of it. I think this is a great game to introduce those same concepts, but just a little bit easier because you're dealing with 2D. Rightio, so we're going to set the throttle on the right. Now I can use keyboard commands with shift and control. There's some numpad commands, or I could use just the cursor here. So we crank it all the way up. And then we chuck off the first stage. I'm going to push spacebar. Now, hopefully this works. Okay, looks like it's fine. I can zoom out and we can see ourselves traveling up. We're going to fly to 100,000 Ks in the top right there. To move, you thankfully don't have to worry about 3D movement, but just this little orb around you is what is all your control that you need, really. I think this probably actually turns, but I use this. So firstly, the top half, or the grey part at the bottom, the line there, it's showing us the artificial horizon. We're kind of swinging a bit to the side there. What I can do is I can click and drag this, and the orange point is where our ship is pointing towards, but the green is kind of where our momentum is taking us. So I'm going to just try and go straight up. You know, we're going there pretty quickly. The cool thing is I can bring up the map. Now, in the mobile version, it was like this. You had to view it on a separate screen, but you can do a split view now, which is pretty cool. Oh, that's all the fuel. Okay, so push spacebar. Boom, we're now out. Cool, so that's traveling up. This other screen here is showing us, now all the planets begin with Smurf. I think the SM is just because it's just a bit, you know, silly. Everything begins with F, like the Smoon and the Smurf. Smurf, it's showing us our trajectory. So it's about to hit, I'll cap off, we get 100,000. There we go, cool. So we've hit 100,000, we've still got plenty of fuel in this one tank. But this is showing us where our trajectory would take us based off the gravity and our momentum. So currently we're traveling at this speed, 2,830 meters per second, this direction. Eventually we're going to slow down because of the gravitational pull of Smurf, and we'll get to our apoapsis, I think that's how you say it. And that's going to happen in 56 minutes at that height, and we'll eventually drop back down. What we could do though, we can't turn when the engine and ships are off. Let's just crank up a little bit. So I'm going to turn around to the side. So this is basically how orbit works. Actually, we can just do the whole thing for orbit, but we can speed up time. I'll show you that. Let's do some of the challenges, and that's where the game really comes in. In their video or their launch trailer, they're like, it's got over 17 challenges. It's because there's 18 challenges. I think that's hilarious. Orbit practice. Have I already done that? Landing practice. Low flyer. Smurf orbit. How about this one here? See how quickly you can achieve orbit. An orbit around Smurf, your periapsis must be at least 100 Ks from your orbit. So that's when you've got your orbit, like the circle orbit around a planet, the circle, the point of the circle which is furthest away from Earth, that's your apoapsis. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. It's pretty close. And the periapsis is the one that's closest to him. That has to be at least 100 Ks above. All right. Let's just use that same ship. However, I realized I didn't save it. So let's quickly recreate it. The cool thing with these sloshy tanks is that I was having a lot of speed from them. Man, I had some grunt from those taking off before because, well, it's twice as much fuel and twice as much power, but you can definitely break things. Don't worry, there is definitely physics calculations. Okay, so let's save this as well, just to show you there's all these things. Let's go, instead of basic, let's call it, oh, I got caps lock on that, the more powerful rocket, because I'm great with naming conventions. Rightio, so, I'll take off at full throttle. Oh no! Oh no! Go back. We also didn't fix the staging. Okay, now we're good. Okay, let's now save this as a more powerful rocket. We'll override it, let's save it, let's go. Full throttle, boom. Okay, sweet. So we'll take off for a bit. I can actually fast forward, and warp speed is really good for going real quickly. Now, as quick as I can, when this gets to 100,000, okay, I'm going to start going to the side now. See, it's taking a long time for my ship to turn its trajectory. I need to turn this one out. Oh, we're out of fuel, so let's go on the next part. I could zoom this screen in and zoom this screen out. Here we go. Okay, so we need to be... I've gone way too high, because this point here could be down here. Wow, that's so inefficient. If I just do like this, like actually like accelerating towards the planet, it's eventually going to get there. Okay, so here it comes. Here comes our orbit. And eventually... Oh, I have to do the next segment. And this segment is not very powerful at all. Oh gosh, it's going to take ages. Oh, I've run out of fuel at the very last moment. It's going to increase our time quite a bit. And eventually this is going to get up high enough. But look how inefficient it is. There we go. Okay, so it's 2 minutes 37. Achieved orbit to that level. Let's cut off the engines there. But you notice that this isn't very efficient at all. To reduce this down to a much smaller circle, like at this point here, what I would do is I'd have to, well, I'd probably do it. Let's warp, and we can warp really quickly. Hold on a moment. When we get to over 100,000 Ks, I can speed up even more. We go till 5 hours. Thankfully, we don't have to wait till 5 hours. The whole galaxy is here, by the way. There's the moon and everything, but I love the time dilation. We can go so quickly. You can warp yourself so far. The way you would want to do it is that when you get to this point here, you'd want to burn on the something. What's it called? I forgot the name of the thing. Essentially, you want to burn the opposite direction. It's going to make the circle go. Okay. So coming down towards it, we're pretty close to it. So let's turn the ship around. Okay. So this is the direction we're moving. We'll cut the engines. Wait till we get a little bit closer. And you'll see, okay, now if I go normal now, see as I'm burning, it's reducing this one here, but this one's pretty much staying the same. And so I could burn it. Wait for time to fly. And hey, look at that. So look, we could wait till we get to here now and do the same thing again, you know, burn a little bit more, but you get the idea. We can really reduce that orbit to be perfect. And the cool thing with Kerbal Space Program in this game, I remember that like you could just get it to that point and then you can leave them up there and like have space stations. So you can do that in this one as well. Like look at that. That now is now within 3 Ks of each other. That's pretty sweet. If I slow down anymore, though, we get pulled into the gravitational pull, and then that would be over. And we managed in 2 minutes and 30-something seconds, which is pretty cool. And I'm pretty sure there's global leaderboards, but I don't think they're implemented possibly yet. Or I can't find where they are. Let's pick something a bit different. Parachute landing. Starting in orbit around Smurf with a small rocket, you must make your way back to Smurf and parachute safely to the ground. Do a retrograde. That's the name. Burn to bring your orbit into Smurf atmosphere. Detach your engine, then deploy your parachute. And I presume it's how quick we can get to the ground. Okay, so we bring up the map. What we do is we turn around. And if I zoom the screen out. Wow, it's going to take. That's a long time. We're way out. We're 900 Ks out. But burning the opposite direction is pretty much, you know, reducing the speed of our orbit. And boom. Okay, so now we're just going to hit the thing. I'm wondering if we can just like point directly at it and just accelerate at it. If that would do anything. Can I see how long it would take us to get there? I don't want to use up all the fuel though, because I kind of want to... What's unlock heading mean? Oh. I see. I kind of want to just save the fuel for landing. Now, apparatus is flying around now. Okay. So I'm building up some speed towards the planet, which is great. So now I'm going to start warping. And then stop when my fuel gets to about a quarter. Okay, cool. Oh, so our ship's now in a spin. But that's all right. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so now we're going to warp till we get really close. So now we're 600 Ks above. That's pretty good. We want to be... we would want to burn in this direction. But not just yet. You just don't want to go too late. Okay, 500, 400. We've got a lot of speed. Okay, we're under 100,000 Ks. I think I need to burn... Oh, I think I've waited way too late. Look at that. That's slowing down so slowly. Okay, I'm going to disengage with the parachute. But I don't think it's going to matter. Oh, the parachute's landed against my ship. I'm flying way too fast. 5,000, 4,000. Oh, we might slow down. We're up to 300 meters per second. There's a little rocket flying around. There's the surface. Oh! I have to deploy the parachute. Wow. I'm so glad that I figured that out. However, downside, I pushed it quite high up. So now it's just wait. Man, we could have sped that up if I pushed the parachute at the last moment. Man, the atmosphere really slowed us down, which I guess is realistic. All right. And landed. Cool. We landed in 2 hours and 5 seconds. That's pretty good. I kind of want to challenge it, but I want to show you some of the other ones. So we could just try and go for the solar system. Oh, it's one thing. Hey, I like the developer mentions Kerbal Space Program. I think that's cool. We can make our rockets look awesome. And this is not DLC. You just pick one and go with it. So let's go Guardian. Oh my gosh. Looks like something out of Mass Effect. That looks pretty cool. Where do we want to go? So you can choose the planet that you start on. Oh, Pluto's not there. So the solar system's about 90% smaller than, well, our solar system. You can make rovers. Where does rovers come into it? Do you have to put like a rover and then, I don't know. Well, there's docking as well. Let's try and show you docking. So docking means you can, well, you can use this port to connect into these ports. I don't know. Do you have to go to this one here or this one's here? I think it has to be this one here. Okay, so let's... That's not a port there, is it? How do I know which one the port is? I bumped into it. That's obviously not. Tight spot, dock with the satellite. Times of the essence, you bump the satellite or you'll lose. Okay. So let's... Okay. Up. Okay. It gets tricky bit. Okay. Gentle. The time's of the essence, so... Nailed it! That's not even straight. 32 seconds. That's pretty good. Man, that was cool. Solar. RCS? Is this solar energy? Oh gosh, look. I can just fire the thrusters while on the spaceship. Undock. Chaos! That's pretty cool. Okay. What else can we check out? I think that you could make some really cool things. I think with the solar system, like trying to put something into orbit. Why try and put something in orbit and then we'll just leave it there? From Smurf. What do we want to put in here? Oh, everything looks really cool now. Look at this thing. Engine. That's an engine? Ion engine? What? What? Solar panels? That's the whole shit. We probably should leave that on there. Docking plug, docking port. Let's get rid of this. Put that on there. Like, what's the worst that could happen if I put a bunch of these on the sides? Ion engine. Does it use fuel, the ion engine? I want to put an ion engine on here. Well, we'll see what happens when we fire the thing off. What else we got? Puffy RCS thrusters. RCS thrusters are good for maneuvering. Batteries. I feel like batteries would be important. Let's pull that down there and then put some... Let's put 5 batteries in. Oh, I can see the weight in the bottom right. Wow, those batteries are heavy. 3 batteries it is. Okay, well that just adds a lot of weight, so it just probably doesn't matter. What's a puffy? What are all these things? Alright, so we got this big beast. Should we put on some nose cones onto the top of these? Or we should bring those down so they're in line with the other nose cones. I could put a parachute on this thing, but I'm not planning on land it. We could get lander things. Fuselage wheels. Man, we could possibly try and go land on the other planet. That might be a good goal. Okay, let's put some... Oh, look! You can mirror them. I just mirrored it a lot of times, though, so that was kind of dumb. Oh, I can use delete key as well. Duplicate it. Oh, look! The thing that I wanted. It's up there. So how does this attach? Like that? Huh. How does it work, though? Oh, the stages are not going to be right at all. Stages. Stages, this one. Honestly, I'm just going to drag this stage all the way to the bottom, and then run it, and then push space to see what happens. Huh. Interesting. So you want to do it at like the very last second. I see. This one has mirroring. So you put it here and here. That turns on. I really don't know how that works, but stage 1 is that. So now they should both go and no, gosh dang it. Also, don't worry about any of that. Where is those lander legs again? So I feel like I put that on there, but it's not attached. These lander legs are quite interesting. Oh, do you put them up like that? That would make a lot more sense. Look at this. What the? Oh, it might be left over from the previous one. Oh, look at that. Look, and now it's sitting up. Perfect. Alright, so those are in place. Now let's look at the staging. So that is actually now the last stage. Bloop. First stage. Yep. I've actually got a lot of things on stage 1. Kind of worried I'm overcompensating. Like, it's all those, but then we don't ditch them. So it might be a good idea to put on some more side detaches, but I feel like my ship's just gonna rip itself to pieces now. Rip itself to parts? That doesn't even make any sense, Jack. Okay, so now what does the staging look like? Those, and those, and those. So these are now together. So those, get rid of them. Then those, might as well just put those into one group. Like, get rid of them and go. And then get rid of them. Oh yeah, we don't want a thing in there anymore. Can we just put the docking port, like, there? We can. Oh, nice. Let's put in one more engine then. Let's put a blaster in there. One more time. Those. Get rid of them and then those. Then get rid of them. Get rid of them and then go. Yeah. So let's just move those two together. Get rid of them and go. Then get rid of that. Then turn on solar power, then turn on the engine, and then turn on the landing. Okay, cool. What could go wrong? Why is the time set like that? I presume it just is. What's with the map? Marcus V1. Oh, that's right, because I named my first ship Marcus. We want to go to here. I don't know how this is going to go, but, you know, honestly, what's the worst that could happen? 3, 2, 1, go! Boom. We are so heavy. Now, which way is the moon going? Oh, why is my ship turning over? What? What? I don't understand. Did I put my ship on autopilot? That wasn't ideal. Let's try that one again. Oh, these boosters just go for it. Like, they're just going for it. You have no control over them. Well, that was dramatic. Okay, well, I got rid of that issue. Seems like our booster rocket sounds have disappeared. Is that the other part of my ship? Like the other attempts? Okay. 30 degrees. There you go, turn the engines back on. That fixed the issue. So I need to get into orbit probably first. We're nearly out of fuel. We have nowhere near have enough. Okay, let's cut the engines and then just wait till we get up to the warp stable and atmosphere. Okay, let's wait till we get to this baby. Okay, now let's burn in this direction. Whoa. Look how much fuel, look how quickly that fuel is disappearing. Okay. We now have an orbit, which is neat. Here's the moon. This is the point where we'll have the closest approach. I don't really know how to aim for a moon. I guess if the moon's coming around here, I can't really see ahead of time. We could wait until here and then burn in that direction, which would increase this like way out to here. And then when we get out to here, increase it and then can sink. But I feel like we should just like aim out in this direction and just burn. Oh, this is our other engine. Oh, look. I have solar panels. I seriously have no idea what I'm doing. Okay, so we've turned on some engine. It's very quiet, this engine. I can turn on and off, and it's just very quiet. Is this the fuel for it? Doesn't seem to be going down. Do we just like have infinite? We're not very fast. Like at all. Turn off engines to warp. I kind of need the warp. My goodness, this ship was going to take a long time. It obviously needs more boosters. Solar. Huh, so Ion uses the solar. So like I turn them off, solar recharges, turn them on, turn off solar. You can see that the solar thing decharges? That's not even a word, Jack. Interesting. Wonder getting to the moon. Man, getting to the moon's gonna take a long time. Like, I don't have to engines the warp, but then like this doesn't move at all. So it's gonna get up there. And when we get to here, it's going to be here. So I feel like we just got to like burn in this direction. Like, it's bringing it closer. This might take a while, though. Currently, this orbit would smash us back into the planet if we went around. Like, I feel just because we've picked a combination, like, I think in Kerbal Space Program, it's a bit trickier getting the balance of fuel and, like, there are some approaches, I guess, which are sustainable, but they're... I found it very hard to find it. But here it was like, oh, I just put 2 solar panels on, unlocking the iron engine, bam, we're done. And that's cool, like, I can infinitely go wherever I want. And I think that's the cool thing about this game, there's not as much of a challenge. Let's just race, pointing right to where it's going to be. I think this here is saying if we travel in this direction and gain up to, or get the speed up to this point, then it's going to bring the approach into connecting with it. Cool thing is, once that gets close, I can turn off. I can turn off the engine to put on warp. So I think this here means we're starting to get pulled into its gravitational pull. Whoa. An encounter in 2 hours. Okay, so what we'll do, warp time. Boom. And nailed it. Man, warp time's amazing. Look, we're encountered the gravitational pull of the moon. All right? Burn. The burning of this engine is nowhere near as satisfying as a normal rocket engine. I just want to meet you. Like, if I turn on warp, we need to reduce our speed by a lot. Essentially, we need to bring this back down to 0. Wow. This may take some time. Like, I guess the more we do it, the faster it's going to go, because the gravitational pull will take more and more effect on us. But, ooh. Like, I don't want to see this count all the way down. We might have to skip in time. The magic of editing. I have chucked myself into a little orbit around the planet, which is, I think, pretty neat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my direction to be here, where it's the reversal of my momentum. I'm going to wait, I'm not going to wait 20 minutes. I'm going to fast forward that. And we're going to burn in the retrograde to bring this all the way down, and then we'll essentially land. You know, it's just that easy, guys. You just land. Just like that. Okay, so we're going to burn, 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 burn. I just keep burning the reverse. It'll keep dropping it. I could wait. Alright, so I've got a touchdown around here. What we'll do is, we might as well keep burning because we've just got essentially unlimited fuel. Which is lovely. Pretty lovely. Gotta say, great choice getting the ion engine. Thought it might not even work, but worked a treat. Okay, so this is a much more vertical landing, which is going to be ideal. All right. And now we could just fall. We could just fall, but we're going to speed things up a little bit. So let's accelerate towards the planet. Our meters per second there at the top. You can see our altitude is at 320 Ks. A combination of our thrust and the Earth's gravitational pull. You'll notice that we're picking up some speed, and we'll get there in no time. Well, actually, it's not that we're picking up speed going down. This is actually increasing out, so it might take some time. I put that there. You get a better perspective of how fast we're moving. Not too much, but hey, we're already down to 28. But what do I think? I think there's a good time to highlight it. We'll try and end with the landing. Let's see if I can get this right. I don't want to go too fast. Let's just check before I do my final talk that Whoa, I should definitely not have done that type of reversal. Can I slow down quickly? Answer is no. Definitely not. Let's just chuck it down to half speed. Oh gosh, it's gonna take down so slowly. Now we need to crank it a little bit. Crank it. Then we get down to 150, we'll turn around. Maybe we should have put a parachute on this thing. No, I'm definitely turning around now. What I think of simple rockets, I think it's really, really cool. It's like 80% of the cost or something. It's $10 New Zealand, so it must be less even in the US, which is pretty cool. It's a very cheap simulation game, and the amount it gives you is awesome. And if you're not sure about Kerbal Space Program, hey, this would be a great way to check it out. Just the idea of chucking things into orbit and docking and stuff, it's very similar. We are so going to die. Like, this is our altitude and this is our speed, and I need to drop this essentially down to 0 by the time this gets down to 0. If you can't do the math, the answer is it's not going to happen. This is exactly what happened before. I'm going to smash into the planet at something like 200 meters per second. Gosh dang it, I'm not good at this. If I zoom out all the way, man, you can zoom out a long way in this. We're just like a speck. I'm fully accelerating in the opposite direction. And it's doing nothing. Look, our speed's increasing. Right, iron engines, not ideal. Like, here comes the planet. You know what? Where's our little spaceship? Put out the legs. The legs will save you. Legs! Oh! That legs are nowhere near. We hit the ground 280 meters per second. Hey, that's definitely not going to work. You get the idea, though. It's if you've played Kerbal Space Program, you know what this game is. You essentially know everything about this game. It has pretty much all the same features, but it's in 2D. It's very simple, and it's very, very cool, and I really, really enjoy it. If you don't know what Kerbal Space Program is, it's another reason to check this game out. Lots of fun. The challenges are really cool. I remember doing most of them, I'm pretty sure, when I had the mobile version. The game works great on mobile as well. Like economy orbit, you know, only doing something on a certain amount of fuel, or this one here, low flyer, is going far as you can without getting higher than 50 Ks in altitude. And I got 106 Ks today. I thought that was pretty good. I could probably get a lot further if I just built up my rocket with a lot more fuel. I probably could just get into orbit. Nah, that wouldn't happen. Just because it's so low, you've always got that gravitational pull. It's really, really fun. I really enjoyed this game. Check out Simple Rockets for yourself, and we'll see you later.